morning, everyone. How many of you have had loved ones in a nursing home, just by a show of hands? Now, how many of you guys have feared for their lives there? All right. So I didn't fear for any of my loved ones' life at a nursing home until I read about some of the angel of death cases that I've been reading about lately. So one of the most recent angel of death cases happened in Ontario recently and has been under investigation. Elizabeth Wetlaufer is a 49-year-old nurse who worked at a healthcare clinic there in Ontario, and she has been recently charged with the murders of 8 elderly people between 2007 and 2014. So police say, the charged murders are of 8 elderly people that she worked with and took care of in these retirement facilities. Police say that 7 of these victims were given a lethal dose of some kind of drug. The police did not release what drug it was, but in her, terms of being out of jail, it said that she wasn't allowed to use insulin, so it's believed that she used insulin to kill 7 of these patients. One of the scariest things that I found out about this case is originally, it was undetected. She didn't get caught with the first 7. She almost didn't get caught with the 8th. She actually pretty well would have got away with it unless, or if the Center of Addiction and Mental Health, where she was going to treat some of her problems, if that facility did not contact the police, then maybe she would never have been caught, and how many more lives could have been lost here at a retirement home. So I researched some more similar cases to see how many there was. I found another shocking case in Germany where a nurse has been charged with killing 2 patients. The suspect, Niels H., it didn't release his last name where I was reading it, confessed to killing approximately 30 more people than actually what he was originally charged for. Other case, there was one in the U.S. where 40 people were killed by Charles Cullen. He was a nurse in, I think, Philadelphia it was, and he killed 40 people because he thought he was helping them. In a 2006 study that was conducted on murder by healthcare professionals, the study looked at 90 cases of healthcare murders, within healthcare facilities, and found that 86% of the accused killers were nurses and people working close with elderly people and close with people in the hospitals taking care of them. So it's kind of sad to see that people who we trust to take care of our loved ones, to take care of our families, our friends, are abusing what they do and killing them. I looked more into some motives behind this, like why would somebody choose to kill an old person? I found a couple different motives that include to help patients, to put them out of their misery. Some actually were for financial aid, to gain money from it somehow. And in the case of that Niels H. guy I was talking about earlier, he actually killed all of his patients because he liked resuscitating them. So that's 33 people in which, once they were in cardiac arrest caused by him, he then did it again, revived them, and then did it again. So it's crazy to see what people will do just to get off, I guess. So one of the most clear motive that I found, the one that occurs most of the time, is that these angels of death, and this is why they're called that, believe that they are helping the elderly or helping people who are sick, people who are in pain. They feel like they are putting them out of their misery, and they are taking it into their own accord to put them out of their misery and not letting life happen the way it should. And on the first case I talked about, the Wetlaufer case, the news talked to a bunch of different family members of the victims that were killed, and the impact on them was tremendous. Well, why wouldn't it be? They had to grieve once thinking, well, my loved one died of a natural cause or whatever, but then the police come to their house and they say, your loved one has been murdered. So it brings up the same feelings all over again, plus a lot more, and a lot of questions. Susan Horvath, she was one of the victim's daughters, actually. She said, I'd seen my dad in the condition he was in, and he had a lot of fear. He had a lot of fear. And just things about him and everything I noticed on his body and stuff, it's just, I had a feeling, a bad feeling. And I told Mom. So she's explaining this feeling that she had when he was dying, that she knew something was off, that she knew something wasn't right, that he was not supposed to die right away, but he still did. So the impact on the families that this has had is very tremendous, and I can't explain, or I can't understand what they have to go through again with, well, learning that your loved ones have been murdered. So until now, I didn't fear for my loved ones' lives in a nursing home, but now I'm kind of more skeptical.